My husband doesn't pay attention to me. My mother never understood me. I'm so frustrated. She's such a narcissist. He eats too much. She drinks too much. These are all samples of a really simple statement, a concept that's causing you stress, overwhelm, anxiety. Take a moment, close your eyes, and ask yourself, is it true? Here we are doing this extraordinary thing called life and finding together kinder ways through life and all that it entails. It can be legit, can't it? Me too. So tonight, I'm really excited. The concept is, how do we untie our knots? Ever try and untie a necklace and there's one knot and another knot? But you ever notice that there's one loop, and as you untie one, it creates space for them all begin to unravel? And that's what we're going to share with you tonight. It's a really simple process. It's called the work. For those of you who are familiar with Byron Katie, what's remarkable about it is it's a living practice. It's something that moves with you and can become a part of like our inner world and an automatic response. Because really, mind is asking and answering questions all the time. Just innocently, mind is also asking and answering questions that can be less productive, that can contribute to the schism, that can cause greater confusion. What's wrong with me? Why am I not enough? Why does he always do that? Sound familiar? And so we ask these questions, and mind will offer up all these answers and wonder why we're feeling depressed. Or wonder why when we wake up with our beloved or our spouse in the morning, our children, and we see them and we don't feel as deeply connected as our heart yearns or longs to be. And the innocent mind, it's just always going. I'll share a bit about how I came to find this. Tony and I, we've been together for over 25 years. And we have a daughter today, but it was a very long journey getting here. And I miscarried 5 times. Went through multiple stages of IVF, for those of you who have ever been on that path. And, the longing inside me was so great. I just kept, moving and moving forward towards that dream, that prayer, that hope. And there was a lot of the illusions of doors closing. I remember I went into this doctor and he said to me, Sage, he said, we just got all your blood work done and you have a rare genetic condition. And he said, you have really less than 1%, 1 in a million, percent or whatever that exact 1 in a million chance, of carrying a child. And I remember getting in the car and driving home, and I felt terror. I felt terror that everything that I was walking towards and everything that I was hoping for and longing for, that this dream wasn't going to come true. I wouldn't know what it's like to be a mother. And it was consuming me so greatly that it was affecting every part of my life. And so we came to know Byron Katie's work a number of years before. And I remember when I read her book and I thought, oh, I do this. I do this all the time. I know what it's like to do inquiry, until you don't. And that day was a moment that led me back to this practice. And I remember I wrote, I am terrified that I will never know the gift of being a mother. And I sat with that. And I answered the questions sincerely because I was in so much pain and I wanted to experience spaciousness and freedom. Who can relate to this? Who can relate to having so much mental density? That's what depression looks like or sounds like. And so as I sat with these questions, what so struck me is I wasn't thinking about the answers. As I asked the question sincerely, that's one main piece of the power of this, is our willingness, our sincerity to meet these questions openly and to be mindful and to be aware of what we're shown. as I went through these questions where I was stressed, where I was feeling so scared, I started to feel spacious. I started to feel where there was misery. I was starting to get curious and feel joyful and feel ease about the exact same circumstance. And nothing on the external changed. The doctor didn't call me and say, hey, Sage, you're going to have a baby. Do you know what? You're pregnant or something. None of that happened. The only thing that changed was what I was believing and thinking. And so I'm delighted and excited to share this with you because it's a practice that continues to bring me incredible freedom. And I still return to this practice. It's been a consistent throughout my life. It's a 4-step question and a turnaround. And it's a really simple process. Think of a stressful belief, a thought that you may have. It could be from today, could be from somebody that's passed. Here's just a sample of, see if this sounds familiar. My husband doesn't pay attention to me. My mother never understood me. I'm so frustrated. She's such a narcissist. My child is going down a wrong path. He eats too much. She drinks too much. These are all samples of a really simple statement, a concept that's causing you stress, overwhelm, anxiety. So if you follow through, I'm just going to take a peek here so I can do this with you. So on one belief at a time, write down the stressful belief in a really short sentence, any stressful thought whatsoever. And once you've come up with this statement, you can go to the next. Is it true? And now when you're doing this process, take a moment, close your eyes and ask yourself, is it true? My husband doesn't pay attention to me. Second question. By the way, the first question and the second question are a 1-syllable answer, yes or no. Be mindful, mind will want to take us into the story. Second question, thinking about and anchoring in a specific moment. I'm giving an example of when my husband doesn't pay attention to me. Can you absolutely know that it's true? And it's a 1-word answer, yes or no. As we go to the third question, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought? When you believe the thought blank, your belief. What emotions arise when you believe that thought? This is about our inner freedom, our inner clarity. What images of past, future do you see when you believe that thought? What do you notice? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat others when you believe that thought? Question number 4, who would you be in that circumstance without the thought? Get really still and notice what you're being shown. So as we go to the next step, it's called a turnaround. And so my husband, here's an example of it. My husband doesn't pay attention to me. Reversed, I don't pay attention to my husband. You get really still and you sit with it and you look for a few, maybe 2 or 3 examples of where that is true or truer. You can turn it around to the opposite. You can turn it around to I don't pay attention to myself. And once again, sit with that. Really get present and thoughtful with the sincerity to connect to a greater truth. And this is your truth. All these answers are coming from you. So play with, so for example, Paul hurt me. I hurt me. I hurt him. Another turnaround is he didn't hurt me. And one more turnaround to the opposite is he helped me. He helped me. So take a look at your statement, the stressful thought, and see how you can turn it around. By the way, I want to share one more thing. Sometimes I will begin with the very first, with the first belief, the first statement, and then I'll leave it there. And I'll go about my day, and I usually leave it by my sink, and I'll maybe come back and brush my teeth, and I'll look at it and I'll ask myself, is it true? So sometimes you can connect to it, whatever is sincere for you, but your sincerity, your willingness, your presence with yourself to stay still in the moment, catching yourself not to go in the story, anchor in the situation, and answer the questions, and look to be amazed. Look to find beauty and spaciousness in places and spaces that were once stressful. Thank you for being you. I'm so blown away by each and every one of you. Thank you for your dedication.